We tend to view fitness as a rigid, high-stakes obligation. In this mental model, valid exercise requires a grueling 40-minute block of time, usually performed in a gym while wearing specialized gear. We also attach unrealistic aesthetic goals to these programs. Thomas Wadden of the University of Pennsylvania notes that most people starting an exercise routine assume they'll look like Cindy Crawford within a few months. This chart highlights the gap between that expectation and biological reality. Strenuous exercise, performed 3 or 4 times a week for nearly 40 minutes, only produces an average weight loss of 2 to 6 pounds over half a year. Because we associate exhausting workouts with massive weight loss rewards, that 6-pound return feels like a failure. It traps us in an all-or-nothing cycle. If the gym doesn't provide a total transformation, we simply stop moving. Abandoning exercise leads to a fully sedentary life, a state that conflicts with how our bodies were designed to operate over millions of years. Our Paleolithic ancestors survived through constant, low-intensity movement rather than scheduled workouts. Their biology was shaped by tracking animals and maintaining a camp. Compare that to the modern reality, where we spend 8 to 10 hours sitting perfectly still. Our bodies are essentially idling, in a world that no longer requires us to move for survival. If the 40-minute gym model is too difficult to maintain and fails to deliver weight loss, we have to look at how people actually avoid the biological traps of a sedentary life. Rena Wing at the University of Pittsburgh tracks a group of weight loss champs in the National Weight Control Registry, individuals who have successfully maintained an average weight loss of 66 pounds. The registry data reveals a specific metabolic threshold. This group maintains their weight by expending an average of 2,800 calories every single week. They don't hit this target through high-intensity training. On average, they fulfill 1,000 of those weekly calories simply by walking 10 miles. The rest of that energy comes from lifestyle activities, the informal movements we often overlook, like gardening, raking leaves, or choosing the stairs. Thomas Wadden's research shows that people who focus on increasing these lifestyle activities are just as successful at keeping weight off as those who participate in formal exercise programs. The body prioritizes the total volume of daily movement. It registers the sum of our activity rather than the formality of the setting. The primary barrier for most people is psychological. We tend to reject a 40-minute requirement because we can't find a single solid block of time in a busy schedule. Rena Wing's Break It Up protocol bypasses this resistance by dividing that daunting 40-minute block into 4 distinct 10-minute fragments. These fragments fit into the gaps of a normal day, pacing while waiting for pasta to cook or taking a quick 10-minute walk after a lunch break. These short bouts deliver the same cumulative physiological benefit as a continuous workout, but they are much harder to find excuses to avoid. Your biology doesn't care if you are wearing a business suit or gym clothes. It only registers the accumulated time you spend in motion. This data suggests we should look past the numbers on a scale to see how movement affects the body's actual survival rate. Stephen Blair at the Cooper Institute of Aerobics Research conducted a study on the mortality rates of overweight men to see how activity levels influence their longevity. The results showed a clear anomaly. While sedentary, overweight men had the highest death rate, overweight men who were physically fit showed almost no increase in dying. The data proves that thinness and fitness are not the same thing. It is entirely possible to be physically fat and physically fit, provided you accumulate enough movement. The actionable target for this protective benefit is surprisingly low. You just need to accumulate at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity activity on most days. You can stop worrying about the gym sessions you missed last week and focus entirely on finding a 10-minute window to move right now. Daily movement is a direct prescription for long-term survival, accessible to anyone regardless of their starting weight or their schedule.